focus on this story. Public Protector Busisiwe Mkhwebane is fighting to keep her job. She lodged an application in the High Court in the Western Cape in an attempt to stop a parliamentary impeachment inquiry against her. The Parliament says it will be opposing her plea. eNCA's Lindsay Dentlinger covering that story for us, joining us now live from our studios in Cape Town. Lindsay, very good afternoon. Well, so to speak, the legal tussle between our advocate Mkhwebane and Parliament over this whole process around her impeachment goes on today.
So, Dan, the argument's slightly different this time around. The Public Protector essentially taking issue with the correspondence that's been flowing between the National Assembly Speaker and the President, and also between the President and herself. And it's those letters that she wants the High Court here in the Western Cape to set aside and to have the various authors of those letters retract those letters. At issue, firstly, she says both the Speaker and the President are acting with bias. She says their motives are improper and that they are acting in bad faith. She says the Speaker jumped the gun by writing to the President to inform the President of the inquiry that's due to start in Parliament within the next month, and that similarly the President, by trying to start a process which could see her suspended, she says the President is highly conflicted. We learn in these latest papers before the Western Cape High Court, the Public Protector telling the court that she's investigating at least 4 matters. We know of some of those. Those have also been in the media recently involving the President. And so she says the President is highly conflicted in terms of dealing with this matter of suspension. And she's also challenging a decision taken by Parliament's ad hoc committee last week when they met to decide the way forward in this inquiry. Their argument that that her suspension is neither here nor there for them and it has nothing to do with them continuing with their inquiry. That too she finds problematic and is asking the High Court to make a finding on that. But more urgently, she wants an urgent interdict to stop any of these impeachment processes from continuing, and with Parliament now indicating that it intends to oppose this application, we can expect to hear Parliament's side of the story within the next week or so when it is due to file its papers before the court in response to these of the Public Protector.
While it's concerning those letters, some people, though, Lindsay, are seeing this as delaying tactics on her part.
Well, speaking to JJ Tabane last night on Power to Truth, she made mention of these so-called Stalingrad tactics of hers, but she says nothing can be further from the truth. She is here to challenge the constitutionality of Parliament's rules. She says those rules should apply not only to her, but as Parliament would have it, all the heads of Chapter 9 institutions. But she feels that that is not the case, that from the very onset, the DA, in her court paper, she refers to a hidden hand, saying that they've always had it in for her from the day she was appointed. They never agreed to that. So she reckons that none of this is about delaying tactics. It's about challenging the constitutionality of Parliament's rules. In particular, what she's now awaiting is her Constitutional Court application against an earlier judgment which said there was no legal impediment for Parliament to continue with this process. The Public Protector is still taking issue with one rule in particular, and that is the one of an acting judge sitting on that independent panel which went through the prima facie evidence against her to decide whether Parliament had a case to answer for in terms of starting this inquiry against her. So she has just more than a year left of her term, and she says there's just no point really in suspending her, and what she is doing is not a delaying tactic. It's challenging constitutionality so that these rules going forward in perpetuity will apply equally to all heads of Chapter 9 institution, and not that certain people, she says, who have it in for her because of the kinds of investigations that she's been doing.
Thank you very much, Lindsay Dentlinger, reporting there from our studios in Cape Town.